Hello, very warm welcome. Driver ratings for the Turkish Grand Prix. All 20 drivers covered as we rate them out of 10 for their weekend. I just recorded this video and I soon realised that I didn't have my sheet where I write the driver ratings down. What an idiot. So I started recording and I didn't have my sheet ready. History was made at Istanbul as Lewis Hamilton equalled Michael Schumacher's 7 titles. What a driver. Unbelievable race. It was 10 out of 10. It was world class. The new tarmac asphalt made it absolutely crazy. And for me, we have to return to Turkey. No matter what era we've gone to Turkey, it's been great. The racing. So, all 20 drivers covered. We rate them out of 10 for their weekend. And we have no favouritism. And we'll go down now. Valtteri Bottas, 0. The title is over with 3 races to go. He qualified P9. Mercedes had no pace, nowhere. He helped Mercedes to gain a 7th constructors, but the title was over after lap 1. Hamilton into Ricciardo, into Ocon. Bottas had nowhere to go, spun. He spun like 4 times in the race. It was a horror race. Contact with Esteban Ocon, spun 4 times. Title's over with 3 rounds to go. Lewis Hamilton, 10. World champion. We knew he was going to be world champion. It was about a matter of when, not if. P6 in qualifying, not great. And I actually thought Mercedes wouldn't win this race. But never write off Lewis Hamilton. Never give up attitude. He was like 20, 30 seconds off Stroll at times. Just kept driving. He actually made a couple of mistakes. But once again, he shines in wet conditions. Won the race by 30 seconds in the end. He's a 7-time champion. And he equals Michael Schumacher. Will sign the contract. And he will go for 8 next year. Huge tyre stint. And unbelievable tyre management. It was a world-class win. Max, 7. Now you have to mark... Max is a huge favourite of mine, but you got to mark him down. He made a big mistake. Arguably could have won the race as many drivers could, but he made a big mistake. P2 in qualifying. He was fastest in all practice sessions. He was qualifying, he was like 2, 3, 4 seconds quicker. They went to intermediates. It didn't pay off. He got 2nd in quali. He was very angry. Should have been on pole. And then a big mistake in the race. He's going through the right-hander. He's trying to go up the inside of Sergio Perez. Then he got on that AstroTurf, flat-spotted the tyres. Game over. Ended up finishing 6th. Bit of a disaster. Considering Max probably had the most pace this weekend. To finish 6th is a bit suicidal. Alexander Albon, 7. A strong weekend by Albon. P4 quali. Much stronger weekend. At times he was the fastest guy on track, fastest lap, catching the racing points, but a spin put pay to his race. 2nd spin, back to back. Imola spin at Turkey, P7 he finished. George Russell, 4, outqualifies Latifi, beats Latifi, takes a penalty, started from the pit lane, P16 in the race. Bit of a tough weekend for Russell. Latifi, 0. Binned it in the gravel in quali. Started from the pit lane with Russell on intermediate, spin in the race, contact with Grosjean, horrific weekend. 0 for Latifi, awful. Now we get on to the Alfa Romeos. Now I give Kimi Raikkonen a 5. 0 to 0 for the Alfa guys. Amazing on Saturday, shocking on Sunday. First time in Q3, P8 in qualifying, mega, P15 in the race. So... great in quali, shocking in the race. Giovinazzi, 5. First time in Q3, P10 in quali. He crashed on the way to the grid, damaged the wing. Managed to get out and do the race. Very tough race, he retired. So yeah, Alphas were 0 to 0. Great Saturday, shocking Sunday. Now we go on to the Alpha Taures, who really had a poor weekend also. Gasly, 2. Just had no pace in wet conditions. They just were nowhere. Gasly finished 13th. Kvyat 2. Poor pace. The AlphaTauri just didn't suit these conditions. Kvyat was 12th in the race, and Kvyat's best moment of the weekend was that drift when he was coming into the pit lane. Grosjean 0. P18 qualifying, binned it in the gravel turn 1. He missed his flight before the weekend even started. DNF in the race. Kevin Magnussen 5. Now I feel for Kevin Magnussen because he got shafted in qualifying with the yellow flags. People improved under yellow flags when Kevin Magnussen should have got through. He slowed down, others didn't. So he got knocked out in Q1. He was very angry about it. And then in the race, he was having a good race, making no mistakes, and bad pit stop. His tyre wasn't fitted correctly. I think he later retired, or did he finish? 17th, I've got written down. I think he could have retired though. Charles Leclerc 9. He was running like 8th in the race. I mean, bad qualifying. He got beat by Seb, but he was like 8th, 9th in the race, and he just came from nowhere in the race to fight for a podium. Then he managed to get past Perez. Then he locked up with 3 corners to go and basically threw away a second place, and he ended up finishing 4th. Sebastian Vettel 10. Now it was absolutely fantastic to see Vettel back fighting at the front after his horror season. No getting away from it. It's been a shocking season for Vettel, but he looked confident in the conditions, and it was fantastic to see him back at the front. I mean, he started P11. He had the best start ever, got straight up to 3rd, running at the front, and his pace was good. His pace was really good. He benefited starting 11th because of Norris's penalty, beat Leclerc in quali and the race. Probably lucky to beat Leclerc in the race because Leclerc was 2nd, but yeah, it was great to see back on the podium and a huge confidence boost as he's going to go to Aston Martin. Esteban Ocon 6. P7 quali. He had an unbelievable start, but Hamilton, Ricciardo, Ocon spun. Then he got hit by Bottas. 2 incidents on the first lap. I felt again really sorry for Ocon. Ocon and Magnussen didn't have much luck this weekend. Ocon P11 in the race. I think he would have finished very high up if he didn't have the incidents. He got a mega start. Ricciardo 6. P5 in qualifying, absolutely outstanding. Went a bit under the radar because of the racing points. But lap 1, Hamilton into Ricciardo, Ricciardo into Ocon. Wasn't Ricciardo's fault. And then he spun late on with a battle with Norris. Sergio Perez 10. P3 in quali. Was he P3? Yeah, P3 in quali. P2 in the race. I mean, once again, amazing tyre stint by Sergio Perez. It'd be absolutely criminal if he doesn't have a seat for 21. Once again, a mid-table team scores a podium. Finished 2nd. Amazing result for the team. Arguably could have won the race as well, but an unbelievable tyre stint. Lance Stroll 10. Probably star of the weekend. He got his first pole position. He led the majority of the race, and then he went backwards. Once again, he proves his credentials in the wet. Once again, driving in the wet seems to really suit Lance Stroll, and he proved his critics wrong by getting his first pole position. He dominated the race, was 10 seconds clear, leading the race nice and comfortably. If the race was on wet tyres, he would have won. But as soon as we went to inters, he seemed to struggle. And obviously, he came in, Perez and Hamilton stayed out, and then he just went backwards. But I was really gutted for him because he didn't deserve 9th place. He deserved a lot more for his efforts. Norris 7. The qualifying was shocking. He received a penalty for yellow flag infringements, but he got fastest lap in the race, and he was really strong at the end of the race. Yeah, great fight back by Norris. He ended up getting 8th and fastest lap. Just check here. Yeah, 8th. Carlos Sainz 7. Again, this is a role reversal. Alphas were amazing in quali, bad in the race. McLaren was strong in the race, bad in quali. So Sainz got a penalty for holding up Perez. but he finished 5th. And obviously he's going to Ferrari in 21. But yeah, Sainz picks up a penalty for blocking Perez, ends up finishing 5th. Saturday was a disaster, Sunday was very good. Let me just check, we've covered everyone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we have it, driver ratings for the Turkish Grand Prix. All 20 drivers covered as we rate them out of 10. We have a couple of weeks off and then we go into the triple header to end what has been a mega 2020 season. Hamilton has wrapped the championship up with 3 rounds to go. We go Bahrain, and we finish at Abu Dhabi. It's absolutely brilliant. That was an absolute classic race. Classic. And all this moaning about the tarmac. Of course, the tarmac isn't up to scratch, but it made the race so good. As a spectator, as a fan, it was brilliant. The drivers deserve a round of applause for their efforts. They earned their millions. Tricky conditions, car control, bravery at the highest level. But it was a fantastic event for Formula 1. Formula 1 have done wonders getting a season on. Formula 1 have done wonders going to new venues. And as a spectacle for Formula 1, Formula 1's boring, Mercedes domination, snooze fest, Hamilton, get in there Lewis, all these keyboard warriors. Well, Turkey has thrown up absolute carnage and chaos. Of course Hamilton still won, but we had variation with the racing points. With Stroll leading, with Stroll getting pole. Overall, it's a fantastic weekend. No one can complain about this weekend. It's a fantastic advert for Formula 1. And I really hope that we come back. Because obviously, Vietnam is not going ahead. So someone needs to fill that date. Hopefully, Turkey can fill that date in 2021. I really enjoyed this weekend. I think it's been fantastic. Comment down below. We'll always reply. That is qualifying reaction, race reaction, and driver ratings done for the Turkish Grand Prix. Hamilton is a history maker. He's matched the legend, Michael Schumacher. 7 titles for the Englishman. And he's going to smash every record there is in Formula 1. Most poles, most wins, most podiums, most championships. It's just mega. And there might be some breaking news coming. So with the contract now, the title's wrapped up. What an amazing weekend. What an amazing advert for F1. Driver ratings done. Comment down below. We'll always reply. Adios.